Hey guys. Well, tonight's True Blood is called Never Let Me Go. And it starts off with Sam and Daphne are still at Tara's party. And they go out for a walk in the woods. And Daphne reveals that she's a shapeshifter too by changing into a little doe, right? And then all of a sudden, Darlene and Terry show up. Remember the guy from the VA that's got the problem with sat in as a cook for Lafayette? They show up. And then it switches over. Sookie's confronting that bellboy, and that she can read minds, and she wants him to let her help him, be better in his life and all that stuff. She's really kind of annoying. So with the bellboy, God only knows what happens to the guy. And then Bill, they get back up to the room, and Bill is yelling at Jessica for ordering that boy off that man off the menu. I mean, they're in a vampire hotel, so she orders a man up a straight B negative man for herself. And Bill says that's just like ordering porn or something like that. And then Sookie and Bill start talking about what's going on there in Texas and what their mission's going to be and everything. And they got to go to this meeting, and all the benefits of being in a vampire hotel, that they get to wake up together in the morning, and all the good stuff that goes along with that. And they're kind of enjoying that part of it. And then Jessica calls Dwight. Remember that boy she met at Sam's a week or so ago? And he reads her a comic book over the phone. And then they go over to Jason. He's in boot camp, and he's running along for the day, right? He's just running along, and they're having he's having a skirmish with that enemy of his, the other guy that's in boot camp with him. And Tara and her boyfriend wake up at Sookie's house, and she picks up this picture of her, Sookie, and Sookie's grandmother, and starts reflecting on that. And they switch back to the vampire hotel for a minute, and Sookie's goes down to the breakfast and starts talking to that bellboy again. And that kind of ends pretty quick. And then Marianne wants to stay at Sookie's house, right? She's telling Tara about it. Tara tells her, no, you can't do that. And she also tells the boyfriend, says, what are you guys, a bunch of gypsies? You just follow each other around. You follow her around and all this stuff. And she's going to throw them out of the house. She essentially does. But then Marianne shows up at at Merlot's and gets everybody yelling at Tara, and she gets all upset and everything. And then they're back at the boot camp, and Jason proves himself by helping his enemy get over this fence, right? And Sookie and Bill, they show up at this Gooder, I think his name is. Well, either way, he's the sheriff of Texas. He's the guy that's missing, right? And Steve is talking they switch back to Steve and Sarah's house, and Steve is talking to Jason about, and showing him all the guns and about the war they're going to have with the vampires. And Sarah walks in on Jason having a bath and gives him a reward, what they call a happy ending, at a massage parlor. And Sookie wants to infiltrate Jason's group, tells Eric that that's what she'll do to find out who the bad guy is, and who has his friend that is the sheriff of Texas, right? The vampire sheriff. And then Rick takes Bill aside and tells him how he got to, why he's so indebted to this guy. And it seems like back in like the 1500s or so, or not even, probably like the 1300s, they were at war, and this guy, Gooder, I think his name is, kills all of Rick's cohorts, like when they're what do you call those guys? Like back in the day, the people who would Vikings, right? He kills all those Vikings, but then he turns Eric into a vampire, and so they show up back. They go back to the hotel, and Sookie finds out the bellboy has quit. And then Tara tells Marianne she can stay at the Sookie's house. Now, how that's going to turn out, I don't know. Bill is talking to Sookie about meeting with the Texas vampires, and Sookie just tells Bill that she wants him, and they start making out on the bed. And then I think the woman from the meeting shows up and can hear what they're saying inside the bedroom, and then her fangs pop down, and that's the end of tonight's show. So who knows what's going to happen now. There might be a little bit of a scuffle. So I will thank you all for your participation and catch you back on the tube next week for next week's edition of True Blood. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye. Good night.